how are you? Repeat back with you. It is Wednesday night. I tell you what, these NNR Xfinity drivers are getting ready to go. They're right at the tail end of qualifying. They'll be done here in just a little bit. J-Pod giving them his last-minute instructions on where they're going to have to pit, where they can come out, what the rules for low draft and all that are. So we're about to see just about 20 of NNR's Xfinity's finest take to the high banks here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Tonight, unfortunately, Rick James couldn't be with me, so we got the one and only Tennessee Vols, as well as More Than a Cape, to come on out and call this race with me. It's gonna be, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Vols, all the way from South Korea. Buddy, how are ya? I know you got a lot of friends here in the NNR Xfinity series. Is there anybody that's gonna stand out for you tonight, bud?
Well, I hope that King Matters boy, I hope he does something good. Everybody got that J-Pod militia. Well, we got the King's Court over here. We'll throw our little name in there. Yeah, hopefully the King's Court finds their way in victory lane. But you mentioned that old Rick James couldn't be here. Last night you had a sophisticated, very well-mannered guy. Well, then tonight, what do you get? You get the dip, spit, and Mountain Dew sipping redneck. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. So, well, there you go. Cape, he's got King Mathers. I know you know a lot of these guys as well. Is there anybody that's going to stick out for you?
I think Pete, really, it's just going to come down to that P word, patience. So it's going to be interesting to see who decides to make it too wide, who decides to take that low line, because you get loose down there. But I'm looking for King Mathers or J-Pod to have a really good night tonight, or maybe even Q-Dogs.
Yeah, Q-Dog, he is the most consistent driver in the Xfinity series. He's got the most points, done pretty well for himself so far. And I think if anybody's going to try to get up there and get the win here, they're probably going to have to go through that 9 Bass Pro of Q-Dog. Now, a lot of those J-Pod militia members are out here. You know, you got Q-Dog, you got Master Killer, you got Bill's Legend, you've got so many of those guys. Now TGM Beast, he's part of that crew. He won his very first race last night in the trucks on a little bit of fuel mileage. What do you think the chances are that we get another first-time winner, and will it also be on fuel mileage, or do you think somebody's going to get it done on raw speed tonight, Vols?
I think it's going to be raw speed. You look at the length is a little bit more than it is in the truck series. So the truck series is more condensed, and you don't have you have more opportunities to go pit. I think tonight they're going to be just a little bit more aggressive, causing a couple more cautions. That's going to allow them to have the patience in the run toward the end. I have no reason to think that they're going to fuel mileage it, but if they do, then I think we're looking at people like Little Tank or Q-Dogs that could possibly pull away with this win.
Now, Cape, last night you ran in this race right here in the truck series, all during the nighttime. These cars, they've got just a little bit more horsepower than the trucks. You know, they go just a little bit quicker. I noticed that through Cowboy Stream and a couple of others that the right front tires really got cooked pretty quick. You weren't quite able to make it all the way on fuel. That you were down to the cords by about 3 laps left in the tank. Do you think we're going to see more of that tonight, or do you think these cars handle just a little bit better to where they'll be able to complete a run on that right front?
I think you're going to see a lot of excessive tire wear, Pete, just the high speed, even around the high line here, which in all honesty is the fastest way around the track. You're going to see those tires wear, and you're going to see them wear early. Last night, I think maybe 3 laps to go in the run, I had to really back it down to be able to make it the rest of the run without blowing a tire. So,
well, I guess we'll see if these guys have found any kind of anything special in order to be able to go that way. Want to say a big thanks to Concilium Gaming, Paulo Miguel Lopez, Josh Chevy, and now Car CSCA. Thank you very much for for the follow. Absolutely appreciate it. And Monster Mike, thank you very much for the sub 4 months in a row using your Amazon Prime. Definitely hope you appreciate the commercial-free streams as well as all the extras that you get for using your Amazon Prime, like the additional games, the DLC, the Amazon TV I think you get, and things like that. Cheeseburger says Master Killer is getting the win. He's just going to go ahead and flat out call it. Vols, what do you think? I mean, you picked King Mathers. You think Master Killer is going to be able to get his?
No. But speaking of the guys in your chat right now, appreciate the boys from the new league I'm commentating, Shake and Bake. Appreciate you boys for coming out, but sorry to whoever said Master Killer was getting the win. You're SOL. He might win it, but it's going to be on fuel mileage. It ain't going to be on pure speed tonight.
Well, Master Killer, part of that J-Pa militia. Beast got it done last night, and there are more guys that have been friends and raced with J-Pa, the leader of the NNR Xfinity series for quite some time. So we'll have to see if it's going to be one of those guys or if it's going to be King Mathers. I saw somebody out there put King's Court, and then, of course, there's that one and only Panda girl out there. Panda, always great to see you. We missed you last night, but glad that you're here tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just like the trucks, these Xfinity boys run 100% under the lights. You're about to see a lot of very, very high lane racing. Requires a lot of concentration on their part in order to keep it out of the wall, but they can't run too low either in order to keep the cars really wound up on the high side. Mike X365, sir, thank you very much for the follow. Absolutely glad that you're here. You're about to see one hell of a race. NNR is known around the Heat 5 community as pretty much the best in preset racing, hands down. So, buckle up. We're going to be going green pretty soon. These guys are all back in the lobby, getting those last-minute instructions. There were a couple of cars that missed qualifying, so they'll have to go ahead and start in the back. Now, Cape, here we're getting ready to go. Last night about this time, what were you thinking, or what was going through your mind as you got prepared to try to stay high, meanwhile trying to keep that 23 truck of yours out of the wall?
That's just it, Pete. Is trying to run as close to that wall as you can get, and then just keeping it out of the wall. And it's difficult. When somebody comes up behind you, it can literally push your car in the wall, even if they're not trying to, if they're just drafting. That was a big issue last night for me. Whenever I had somebody behind me or even in front of me, my truck shifted right going in the corner, and it's hard to keep it down out of that wall.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, we saw more people hit the wall last night, but were able to somehow come off. And due to a couple of cautions, whether they were timely or untimely for others, some people were able to fix up their truck and come on back out. Again, TGM Beast, first-time winner in the truck series. Of course, we had FNL Bowling, the winningest driver in the truck series. And then the 51 of SWAT come home P3. Just like I told him last night, you keep staying as consistent as possible, the wins will come. So there's a lot of guys here in the Xfinity series that have been very, very consistent. And this year, unlike years past, it's not win and you're in. You've got to be consistent in order to get yourself into those final six to be able to race for that championship. If you had to pick somebody that has not won a race yet, to get it done here at Kansas, where you can either try for a slide job, but J-Pod told the guys in pre-race meeting today, if you try to slide job and you push a guy up into the wall, that causes a caution. The person that tried the slide job and caused the wreck, they're the ones going to the back, not the guy that bounced off the wall and collected the field. So if you had to pick a guy that has not won yet this year, who would it be to get it done tonight?
I don't know which one you're talking, if you're talking to me or him, but I'm going with Q-Dog. Q-Dog has no wins. He's been very consistent. He's been the model of consistency through this whole season so far. I think he's the man to go. But for the 20 people out there in the chat with the repeat, if you're here because I sent you an invite to watch Pete stream, give him a hell yeah.
All right, guys, I got the invite from J-Pom. Getting your invites out right now. Vols, you should have yours. Cape, there's yours. As you can still see, Fanic Tech equipment on the screen. That's the equipment everybody in the Pro League received during the Pro League Season 2, as well as the wheel, the pedals, and a beautiful racing seat. So it's definitely something to shoot for. Again, just about 20 cars are going to be out here under these Kansas lights getting ready to go. Here we are to start our pace lap. Balls are going to go through the field. Here is your pick, the 15 of King Mathers. He's going to be on the pole. He's going to have the 13 of Commando Griff to his outside. Then we got the 90 of Twizzle with the 44 of Baritone Boss. Then the 98 of Master Killer. 5-car Little Tank, good to see he was able to make it. 9-car Q-Dog, again, your overall points leader so far on the season. 47 of Bill's Legend, he has been very strong week in and week out. Same thing with the 1 Oreo Camaro for Cole 315. 99 of Zachary Jason, the 16 of Budrow. Then we got the 20 of Jay Gimble. Y'all need to watch this guy race, whether it's here on Heat 5 or over on iRacing. Does a pretty good job. 22 of Yotes King, can't forget about him. 38 of Outlawed, 78 of Unforgotten Shadow, can't forget that name. I tell you, the 8-car Combat Beast in that Hellman's Camaro, he's going to be fast as well. And then we are back up front with the 15 of King Mathers. 13 to his outside. I tell you what, the control car can usually get a pretty good jump, especially being that their first lap coming to the green is manual. The game's just not letting him go. So here we go. Strong field, stacked field, coming to the, we'll call it the Cape restart zone. Cape, go ahead and take his green.
And here they go, going up through the gears with the 15 out front. He gets a good jump on the start there. Could be winding about in the 3rd gear right here, going into turn 1 with the 13 on the high side.
Yeah, 13 of Commando Grip's going to go ahead and drop on down to that low side. That's kind of where you want to be to block any advances coming on up through the field. But behind him, now is the point where you got to get up high, stay up high, protect your line, and work on your patience. You want to get up there, you want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you need to stay away from that wall so you don't bottle up the field. Vols, everybody so far, 1 lap under green, looking pretty good so far.
Yeah. Car that hopped down there to the bottom, they're going to get the slide job. So it's something we're going to bring up each and every time we have a restart here. When they come out of the corner, everybody wants to be rimmerized. They want to touch that wall down there, like old dirt tracking it. Put the right rear up on the wall a little bit. Make some speed. You ain't going to get much grip off of it. But then you got guys who want to dive down to the bottom. You dive all the way down in a straight arc, and then you shoot back up the track, and it slows the momentum once you get to the bumper. But right now, everybody's single file of King Mathers continues to lead this race here on lap number 2, or number 3.
Well, King Mathers said that he was going to get out front. He was going to stay out front and try to do you proud. Otherwise, he was going to show some pictures. I don't want to know what that meant, but so far, that 15 is proving that he can get it done here. Kansas Motor Speedway, high line, all the way around. You want to try to duck down as low as you can without clipping the grass through the tri-oval. But everybody now, except for maybe 1 or 2 cars, are up high, trying to keep it out of the wall. Looks like the guy just behind the 98 of Master Killer might have tagged it just a little bit, slowed him up, and that's going to allow the 47 of Bill's Legend to kind of move on up. Little Tank tagged it again. Rick James, thank you very much for the host of the stream, buddy. Absolutely appreciate you, bud.
That's the difficult part, especially watching your combat. I'm sorry, Balls, go ahead.
44 was in the wall right there coming into turn number 1. He went for a slide job and missed loudly, and he went straight into the wall, and he bounced people behind him, and they all jumbled up here. The 1 and 20 and the 47 are battling back here in the back.
Yep, right with the 47, the 78, the 36, and the one, a Cole 315. Cole down low, nowhere to go right now. He's got it. More than likely, he's going to have to allow this train on the high side to go. Everybody in the back looks like they're a little squirrely. Not quite sure if it's due to any kind of damage that they may have, or if they just started out on too high of a preset, thinking that they were going to maybe have a quick caution. But both of you guys know NNR is not really known for cautions. They're very well known for their long green flag runs. And coming off of turn 4 here, you can start to get a little loose, have that nose start pointing towards that inside wall, not where you want it to be. You need to keep it pointed forward and keep digging. 44, 5, 47, 3 wide. Looks like they're going to be able to sort that out. And the 47 is going to be able to take the spot.
Change for the lead. 13 got up there and passed the 15 on the bottom. He got down off of turn number 4, got a huge run from the high side with a little bit of draft that you have here at Kansas. Hit below the 15. He gave him plenty of room as they almost got in draft. And the 13 takes the lead. Now the 15's trying to look like he's preserving tires, running a little bit lower of a groove to get some clean air through the turn. He's riding and straddling that line, the seam in the middle of the corner. And now he's back down the back straightaway, and there was no tail for the lead.
Yeah, 13, he's still got the 15 of King Mathers right in his back pocket. But they're on not the lowest draft setting tonight. They are on low. So there is a little bit of a pull down these long straightaways. It's the reason that you're not seeing all these cars stay in one big pack is because there's no long toe from the car in front. So you got a pack of 2 leading this, and you got a pack of 2 for 3rd and 4th. But that pack behind these top 4, there's constant fighting all the way back there. Swat, sir, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Absolutely appreciate you, buddy. Great finish last night, man. So Kate, like I just said, 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th, they are nose to tail. The 98 of Master Killer right behind this 90 Maxim car, but behind them it's just a hornet's nest of additional drivers. Everybody trying to break out, get to the high line, but people want to try to look, get some kind of a run down low and maybe advance their position without getting into the car outside. They're going to have to realize they're going to have to be patient and allow that car to go on the high side and then try to work your way up. Whether it's through pitch strategy, that person up there making a mistake and tagging a wall just a little bit, but for that you're going to have to be heads up so you don't get collected. What do? Do you just stay down low, or do you... Whoa, we got a little bit of contact there. It looks like 99 and others. Couple cars backwards. And this should bring out our first caution as soon as the 8 of Combat Beast lets me know, or J-Pot lets us know if he's going to call a manual. Doesn't look like the game's going to take out the caution, so we may be under a manual here in just a second. Coey, yes sir, that did come in today. Glad you could tell the difference.
That's the difficult part, Pete, is how patient do you be and how long do you ride where you're at. Last night, I went from starting 11th to 16th to 8th to 5th, back to 16th, and it gets frustrating because it's very hard to pass at this track. And I'm wondering if that's what we saw there just a few minutes ago, is just, the patience is wearing thin. It's a really long race, and you just got to, take your time and work your way through the field the best you can.
Yep, as you see, the 20 of Jay Gimbel and everybody else, both in front and behind him, now woeing up their pace. Unfortunately, the game caution didn't come out, so the Xfinity Series leader, the one and only J-Pa, no introduction needed there. Went ahead and called the audible, got these guys woed up. Everybody will have a chance to come on down pit road for the first time. Now, Vols, if you only have 14 seconds and you know that you're not going to be able to get everything changed up in the beginning, do you start just with the tires, or do you start with the wedge and kind of go from there when that first stage break comes on out, or maybe another untimely caution?
Start with the tires. The wedge, I typically don't want to touch it here at Kansas, so you're already loose as the run goes along. You're kind of a little bit of tight in the beginning, depends on the preset you're with. But you want the right rear to not wear as much, or the right front, depending on if you went on the tight side or you went on the looser side. So you want to balance which one. So whichever preset you went with, you're either going to mess with the left front, or you're going to mess with the rear. So we'll see what these guys do. I don't think anybody's going to touch the wedge here. They don't have enough time to do that. The 15 and 13 ran away with it before the caution came out. So now we're trying to see who's got what, and the 15 beats them off pit road.
Yeah, it looks like the 15 of King Mathers able to beat the 13 of Commando Griff off the line. Not quite sure when that caution came out, if the 13 was still up front or not. So if the 15 was able to take back P1 off of that pit road stop, he definitely needs to thank his crew with some Oreos and chocolate milk when this is all said and done. Long train of cars behind this 15. He's got to be glad to see them right where they are. Swats, no camera right now. When I plugged everything back in, didn't quite have time to reset everything. Plus, with this new mic plugging right into the tower, a little worried about plugging a whole bunch of other stuff into it. So now I got an external, I got a phone, I got the Yeti, I got all this other stuff. I'm gonna kind of take it slow and ease into it. Maybe for tomorrow night once I get that tested out. But man, Swats, glad you're there tonight. So right now we got Swats out here in chat that heads up the truck series with NNR. We got Coey out there in chat that heads up the Cup series and the overall community as a whole. Swats and Coey, let's actually hear from you out there. Who are your picks to go ahead and get it done tonight? Whether a rookie or a veteran, who's going to get it done from you guys? Here we go, back green, 15-13, and then I think that's going to be the 98 right there in P3. Not 100% sure, couldn't quite see the number, but we are back under green. Cape 15's got them all still right where they want them. Didn't miss a beat on that restart.
Jumped out there, and you got the 15, the 13, the 98, and the 8, who has worked his way up from dead last to P4, and he's been fast ever since the start of this race, so it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with these 4 cars in front of him, and if he can keep pace with them, because that's the difficult part, is running it up near the wall close enough and getting that draft through the corner, but it's also catching them coming off the corner.
Yeah, it really is. And we saw a lot of that last night, a little bit of pushing and shoving, and it really helped the guy that was in second place to be able to dive it on down into the corner with a whole lot of speed, a whole lot of momentum, and complete the pass. The guy in second did have, or the guy that ended up in second, did have to go ahead and check up just a little bit. But if you're gonna run the guy over just because he passed you and cause a caution, I think that should be on you. But if the guy in second place, all of a sudden has to stab the brakes, then that slide job didn't work. Got another old person out there in chat, Ellie1102. Oh, Mrs. Balls, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming back on out tonight. Your hunk of burning love is out here, and glad that he's able to be here and help me call this race. How are you tonight, ma'am? Sights and sounds of Kansas Motor Speedway at dusk. Man, looking pretty good. 90 to 16, a little bit of side by side. 90's going to go ahead and check up and allow the 16 to move on up. Twizzle Balls is another one that's slowly but surely making his way through the field.
Yeah, he sure is. He hasn't had to make too many aggressive moves to get up there either. He's allowed everybody else to check up or check down. Some people are going out of that middle groove, trying not to tear their tires up here as they go along. We saw last night in the truck race, tire management was one of the keys to getting done other than fuel mileage. These guys know that they have to back it up, and Twizzle's not driving as hard as he can to get up to the front. He's kind of being patient.
Yeah, Twizzle's absolutely, even
no,
like I mentioned a little bit ago, there is a little bit of draft out there tonight, but not a whole lot. So I think he's actually in a pretty good spot. A little bit of action there. Not quite sure if somebody tagged the wall by accident or what happened. Cape, if you got had a sight on that, it'd be great to kind of let us know. But a whole lot of evasive action all of a sudden right there.
Yeah, that was definitely some defensive driving there on the 8 port. It looked like the 13 just got up in the wall coming off the corner, and like I said before the race, it's that car on that right rear quarter panel. It pushes you right towards that wall, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes out through the rest of the night, because I mean, let's face it, if you dive to that middle lane and there's 2 cars up top, you're going to get freight trained.
Yeah, you will. Riding on board right now with the 16 of Budrow. I thought I saw a little. Yeah, I absolutely did. Oh, I went too far here. I thought I saw a little bit of damage on the front end of this 16, and absolutely, again, diving on down, came back up, smashed that outside wall. That's going to allow the 98 of Master Killer to keep that running, keep it going. And now the 90 is going to be able to pull onto the outside of the 16 as well. They're both going to be able to get on by. You cannot afford any excessive damage on the front of these cars. With the high line, the momentum, the air that you need in order to keep these cars turning, you need to keep them clean as best as possible, just like your leaders.
Your top 2 leaders up here, you got the 8 and the 15 riding first and second. Commando's back in third. He lost a little bit of position from having to check up and tag on the wall just a tad bit and stack the field. 16 got the worst end of it. Looks like the 38 and the 1's got a little bit of front end damage too. 16 goes back into the wall. 1 car goes underneath down there at the bottom. He's getting pushed from the 90 behind him, or not the 90, the 38 behind him. 38's pushing him past. Now he's going for position on the 1.
Yeah, it looks like all that going on right behind the 13 of Commando. Griff looking back from his hood cam, and yeah, there's a couple that just can't seem to find a comfortable spot on that high line and just ride. Last night when the 38 of Bowling was able to get a little bit of a gap on the 88, and I think it was the 40, the 88 and the 40 were able to track him down by staying lined up and just being patient and running their line. Even though we're on a low draft setting, as I said, there is a little bit out there to help these guys keep the momentum and keep the motivation up on that high side. If you can keep it out of the wall, you can make up time. Not everybody's going to have the same wear. Not everybody's on the same preset. Not everybody's got the same wedge or the same tire pressures. You need to have that long run car in order to get it done. Kate, what are you thinking so far, bud?
It's just good hard racing, and you're seeing cars tag the wall just a little bit, getting too close to the wall, trying to slide job. And let's face it, Bowling, he's who I want to be when I grow up. Certainly driving style, but it's difficult. It's difficult to run close to that wall. And Kansas has kind of progressed through the years of being the low line to now it's the high line, and it's one of the few tracks that you come out of the corner high and you dive to that apron down the front stretch. And as we see the 99 just slap the wall coming out of 4 there. But it's definitely a difficult task.
Yeah, absolutely. Bama's now out there asking, where's her boy? Well, Bama Vols is right here with us. And now we got 2 of the leading ladies in Vols' life. Got Ole Miss Ellie and Bama Trauma. So, ladies, definitely big thank you for coming out. Absolutely appreciate you. As always, Vols still going through the field. Is Master Killer's, I'm sorry, not Master Killer, bite my tongue, right? Is the 15 of King Mather still your pick for tonight? Or do you think you're thinking about changing up as we get closer and closer to the end of stage number 1?
No, we ain't faltering away from that 15 car. The 8 car's closed in on them a little bit. Combat Beast is just a little bit better through the center of the corner. I've noticed as I've watched them for the past couple laps, the 8 car's able to get off the corner with a head bit more speed. The 15 looks just a tad bit loose when he comes off the exit of 2. The exit of 4, he looks like he's kind of a bit tight. The 8 gets a little bit of a ground on him down the back straightaway and the front straightaway as they dive down to the bottom. But no, I think the 15 still got this one in hand. As the race progresses, you'll kind of see you'll see a little bit more of the experience kick in. The same with Twizzle. I think by the end of the race, it's going to be a battle between Mathers and Twizzle, who's going to come down as the winner tonight.
I tell you what, I just saw Cape. I just saw the one of Cole 315 go on down and come off of pit road. 15 laps remaining here in stage number 1. I think he's probably got the right idea. Come on down right when the fuel window opened up, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with just the amount of fuel that you need in order to make it to the end of the stage to keep the car light. And if you can kind of catch some of the other guys, unaware just a little bit, you're going to be able to make up a little bit of time on them and maybe, advance your position when we're looking at the start of stage 2. Now 14 laps to go.
That is correct, Pete. I think you split the stage, and as soon as your fuel window opens, I think you got to hit pit road. But I think, I think Combat right now has got the car to beat. It's definitely looking that way. He's the fastest in both sections of the track, and it's going to be interesting to see when he pits and if he only takes 2 tires versus 4. Just to see what it feels like being out front. It could be a good strategy play.
Yeah, could be a good strategy as well. Combat, like you said, he's kind of helping us out tonight with laps and fuel and strategy and all that as he went flying on by. I think that was the 20 of Jay Gimble, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure if he's out of gas or if something happened, but he's got the 13, right behind him, not too far off. 13 is showing that his outside pole start was no fluke at all. But, to throw a little salt in that wound there, Vols, I don't see that 15 in the top 2 right now where he started.
15 came down pit road there about 2.5, 3 laps ago. And, this 8 car staying out like this is kind of going to be an unfavorable advantage for the 8, due to the fact that the fastest you can get off pit road with these fresh tires, the better off you're going to be on a longer run. And this 8's going to come down. He's got a good bit of track away from the field, but once the 15 comes off pit road, he's going to be tracking him down. And if I'm the 15, I'm coming out and I'm trying to get as big of a lead as possible because the 8's going to burn his stuff up before he catches you again.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Kate. The 8's showing about 5 laps of fuel left in the tank. Now, do you think the 8 is just saying, you know what, I'm up front, I'm leading laps, he's hoping for a caution to come out, maybe, somebody coming on down off the banking, goes to lock up the brakes to slow it down, woe it down to pit road speed, spins out, maybe collects somebody out, somebody else, caution comes out, and he's gone ahead and lapped a couple cars? Or do you think he's just got to realize all these guys behind him are running faster and just come on down pit road and see where it shuffles out? I mean, he's got a pretty good lead.
He's got a big lead right now. And Pete, honestly, he may be waiting for the caution play, but the way his car looks, as stable as it looks, I don't think the tires are really going to matter that much because I haven't seen anybody really gain on him. Just watching the footage from the race, everybody's keeping about the same distance. So he may have found that that lucky horseshoe that old Jimmy Johnson used to carry. And Combat's a skilled driver and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Combat Beast definitely has a lot of friends out there to help him out, keep him company. When I can't recall his gamer tag right now, but when one other guy raced with NNR, Combat Beast was always in his ear, trying to help him out with any slight adjustments or where other traffic was, where the leaders were, whether they were pitting or not. So King Outbreak, that was the other guy's name. He's lent a lot of info out, and I'm sure he's received just as much. But yeah, that 8 Hellman's Camaro is doing pretty well so far. Here he is now, going to go ahead and dip on down close to the white line to status that he's going to be coming to pit road. He's got that double deuce right on his bumper. I'm going to guess double deuce is just about to go a lap down. The 8's going to come off the banking, whoa it up, get it down to about 45 mile an hour, not to get a black flag. It looks like 13 of Commando Grip's going to come in right behind him, Balls.
Yeah, 13 comes in with him. That's going to cycle this lead over here. That should cycle it back out. Here comes King Mathers. He's just now crossing the start-finish line to get his first lap, or to get his lap back right now. So now we're going to see how far of a lead the 15 can get on the 8. He's up to the 20 of Jay Gimbel. I was watching Gimbel earlier. When everybody checked up, he got just a tad bit of damage, and he fell off the pace here. I don't exactly know if he had a chance to fix that without going a couple laps down, but he's being real respectful of the leaders, staying out of their way, and doing the right thing, being courteous on the track. But here it comes off the board. The leaders looks like they're coming out of the
leaders coming out of the pit.
Let's see what he can do here.
All right, so keeping an eye right now, riding along with that 15, looking ahead. You see the 13 of Commando Grip on the apron just in front of the 15. You see that bright yellow Helmets Camaro way up front. So that's the amount of time that the 15 of King Mathers was able to make up, but not quite enough. So that kind of goes to Cape's point. That 8 car is actually pretty stout tonight, able to really keep it up there and keep it going. But I'm kind of curious. I wonder. You know, we were talking about the 20 of Jay Gimbel being off the pace. No, he's okay. He's a lap down. I was wondering if maybe he was backing that throttle down in order to save enough fuel to go to the end here of stage number 1. But it doesn't look like it. Next time this Camaro comes on by the start stripe with the 15 Sandy Camaro of King Mathers, we'll go ahead and grab a lap count. We've got to be in the very, very low single digits as they cross the line. It looks like there is just about 4 laps remaining. So 8's on newer tires, 15's been out there for just a little bit longer. Cape, do you think the 15's got a chance to get to the 8? Well, actually, the 8 just tagged the wall a little bit there, bud.
That's what I was going to say. Unless combat messes up, I really don't think the 15 can run him down. But now, I mean, you see just how that little bit of contact just closes that gap, and it's going to be a dogfight for the stage win. Stage points are important at the end of the year. I know we're not doing the win and you're in, but overall in the big picture, if you're setting right about 10th through 12th in points, 10 stage points means a lot.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when it comes down to the overall points at the end of the year, it means a ton. 8 car really being pressured now by the 15 of King Mathers. All the way up against that wall. 8 car now very, very down low, keeping it right along that grass line in order to keep that 15 behind. 8 keeping it really wound up. 15 almost pulling to the inside of his left rear quarter panel. 8's going to be able to grab a great, going to be able to get right back in the throttle a little bit faster than the 15. Here it comes, a little bit of a slot, a little bit of a try on that inside. No such luck. 8 back in the throttle again. Here comes the 15 to the inside, balls. It's going to be a drag race with about 2 laps to go.
Side by side going into turn number 1. I think the 8 car might have took 2 tires and hitting the wall, gave him a little bit of damage. 15 slides it down. He crosses him over. Slide job on the 8. He gets it. He completes it. 8 car dives back down with the crossover. 8 gets to his side. 15, 8 side by side going into 3. 8's going for the slide job now.
Nope, 8 car looks like he got bogged down on that bottom line. 15's going to have the preferred line as well as all that momentum off the high side. He's going to come back to the line with, and that's going to be it for stage number 1. Congratulations to King Mathers. Balls, that is your pick for the overall win, and right now he's got to be doing you proud in order to get that done for you.
Yeah, let's go. I texted him earlier and I said, you've talked all of this smack. He talked all of that smack last week at Martinsville when he finished. I think he finished 3rd, and I was giving him some flack in the chat, and he said he kicks my butt anytime. So I said, I won't bet against you, buddy. Right now, ever since I've been in the booth, he's 2 for 2. So here we go. Let's go 3 for 3. I'm up here calling this one, and let's see if he can pull it in here. But that 8 to Cape's point, that 8's right is mighty strong. Them two are pretty even. I think the 8 might have a slight advantage off the exit of the corner, but the 15 is able to control which line he wants to run. So it's going to be a dogfight to the end.
Well, Cape, this was the first time where they all got about 40 seconds in order to make any and all adjustments that they needed. and repair any kind of damage that they had. It's going to be the 15 at the point. I'm sorry, the 9 car. He's going to be at the point. I don't think he pit. I think he actually just got saved from going a lap down. I'm not 100% sure on that, but 15 is going to look to the inside. 9 car of Q-Dog to the outside. There's the 8 Helmets Camaro Combat Beast with the 90 sitting in P4 all the way down this backstretch. Cape, here we go. One more time, buddy.
To the finish from the first stage with the 9 out front, and now that freight train around the top is trying to trap the 15 down low. You got the 90, the 44 going around the 15. Let's see if he can get it back up in that high line.
Yeah, 44 Baritone Boss on the outside of the 15, King Mathers. At this point, the 15 is really just, I mean, at this point, this is like you're at Talladega or Daytona, and you've got a whole train of cars passing you on the bottom side, and you're stuck up high. Nothing that you can do about it. Here is just a reverse, unless you get enough cars on the high side at one of those restrictor plate tracks. But yeah, he just had to wait for a hole to open up, so he went from the front row all the way to about, 6th or 7th. Cole 315 now down low. He's the only car on the bottom line.
Now we look up here. Twizzle has made his way to the 3rd place position. 8-car Combat gets under Q-Dog here. 90's going to go up top and stay with the 9, but the 8's going to go for the slide job here, and I don't think he's going to complete it. 8-car's going to get trapped down there on the bottom. Twizzle's going to move to P number 2 right behind the 9, and now we see what Twizzle's got in the 90.
Yeah, Twizzle right behind that 9 Bass Pro for Q-Dog. 8-car of Combat Beast still down low. 44 Baritone Boss, then the 13 of Commando Grip. A whole lot of very, very stout cars on that outside. Not quite sure what happened there, if that was a little bit of lobby instability or not. Right now sitting at about 930, hoping that we can avoid that big server bump that we've unfortunately gotten a little used to. 9 right now, though, showing why he is the overall points leader. He's got the rest of the field in his rear view, trying to get away a little bit.
That he is, Pete, but here's what we're going to find out here in just about maybe 10 laps, 15 laps, is who put the setup in right. Are you too loose? Are you too tight? It's going to be interesting to see how well these cars hold on that haven't been in the top 5 for the first part of the race. How much of that setup did they get in, and how much did they get right?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing about the that stage 1 going into stage 2 break. They've got a full about 40 seconds in order to make those full tire adjustments or try to get as close to it as possible. Adjust all the way on your wedge. Do anything that you need to do with your tape. You've got just about all the time that you need, as it looks like the 44 of Baritone Boss might have tagged a little bit of wall, and then or was it Twizzle that tagged the wall and allowed a couple of guys to get on by? He's got 3 wide behind him with Combat Beast now on that bottom line. The 98 of Master Killer, 5-car Lil Tank, 47 of Bill's Legend, whole lot of hashtag J-Palm Militia cars, very, very close to each other here, Vols.
Yeah, it's a big old hornet's nest back here fighting for about 4th on that. 90 car tagged the wall just a tad bit. He didn't get into it too bad, but he was very nice. He pulled up just a little bit more to let the guys get below him. He didn't kind of block the run, but he settled in about P number 4. We got the 8 car and the 15 are back here battling. They got freight trained on the outside, and they're not making any bones of pushing back up to the front. They're kind of losing a little bit of their speed that they had in the early part of the run, especially stage 1, as they were the top 2 to pull away. And now we got to see what kind of cars they do have. What can they do in traffic?
Yeah, King Mathers, he led quite a bit of stage number 1, the same as the 8-car of Combat Beast. Now, exactly as you said, they've got a lot of dirty air. They're having to check up just a little bit sooner. Might be affecting where they're getting back in the gas in order to get around where you really need to be. Now 38-15, pushing and shoving a little bit on the high side. The double deuce of Yotes King has the 5 right in his back pocket. This looks like it's about the first time where just about the entire field is riding that high line, except for some of the guys that have had to check up and pull down in order not to run the guy in front of them over. Not quite sure if somebody up front, Cape, made a little bit of contact with the wall, but there's more side-by-side action now than we've seen almost the entire race except for these restarts.
Peter, I don't think anybody tagged the wall. What was that P word we were volleying around before the race?
Oh,
yeah,
patience.
It's it looks like it's starting to work thin with the 8 and the 15. They know they got the class of the field, and I think they're getting a little bit frustrated being trapped behind some of these slower guys the way they're running up on them and trying to make moves.
I know Vols, the 5 of Little Tank, the 8 of Combat Beast, and a couple others actually missed qualifying. They missed connection. They had to start tail end Charlie. Well, they worked their way, or at least Combat Beast worked his way up to the front. The 5 has been right about mid-pack the entire way around. I'm sorry?
The 8 car just got put in the wall going into the turn.
Oh, yep, it looks like there's the 8. Somebody else spinning around. We'll have to see if the game brings the caution out. So far, I don't see it. Looks like we'll have to see if J-Paw calls for a manual and slows these guys up. It looks like they might, because the 15 of King Mathers, although I don't see a whole lot of damage on his backside, I think he almost had to take a little bit of evasive maneuvering and get out of the way. We'll have to see if the rest of the field gives him his spot back. Guys, caution's definitely out. Everybody will get that chance to come on down pit road one more time, straighten it out, see what they got to do, and see what they need. Now, Cape, do you think that was enough time to see if the bigger adjustments they were able to make during that stage break is what they needed, or do you don't quite think that was enough to really get a feel for the long run?
I think you did. I mean, you had 10 to 20 laps there. You know what your car is going to do, right? I'd like to say change the tape a little bit on the front, but let's be honest, the tape really doesn't matter much in this game, except for overheating or underheating the engine. But I think that, just trying to stay ahead of the track, and it sounds funny because this game doesn't change, but the more you get in that run, the more that right end's going to try to come around, and just making sure it's stable.
There you go. Vols, everybody coming on down pit road. Those with a little bit of damage are going to spend a little bit of extra time in their stall. If anybody's sped coming down, that's kind of on them, especially when you're coming down at pace speed. If you were a little greedy and tried to catch somebody at the line, and now you've got to serve an extra 15 seconds, you kind of deserve it. And as I say that, I see the 8 of Combat Beast really in there. I'm guessing that he had a whole lot more damage than what that replay showed, or at least what it showed when I caught up to him while he was trying to get back up through the gears and get going. Yeah, he's got a full 30 seconds, so I'm guessing that 8 sped.
Yeah, I think he either sped or had a mess ton of damage. But the biggest 2 losers right now of this caution, the 15 and the 8. I mean, they were up there battling for the stage 1 win, and now they're mired back. I mean, they're tail end of the field. H is shotgun of the field. I mean, he's right at that, and he has the 15 in his eyesight, so it's going to be a challenge. Right now the 9 car's putting down a good pace. He's staying up front. He's not really he's not having to push the car too much to get up there and win this thing. But man, how the tables have turned on us.
I tell you what, the 9, he sent out a tweet earlier, Cape, saying he thinks he was going to have a good old chance to go ahead and get it done. And the No Name Racing handle actually went ahead and liked it, retweeted it, and said, "Go get it, Q." So he's got a lot of people watching. He's been fast, been consistent. Again, he is the overall series points leader, and it looks like he's been able to get up and get going through those gears a little bit better than than that 98 of Master Killer that's sitting right now in P2.
It does, Pete. I mean, let's be honest. Consistency is the key in NNR, because you're not doing the winning you're in. You win one race in that model, and then you can just go out and run it, balls to the wall every week and not have to worry about it. This year, it's kind of, can you keep that consistent behavior throughout the year? It's not, well, I won one race, I should be in the playoffs. It's how do you put that total body of work together? It's kind of like the college football playoff, and I know our old friend Tennessee Vols don't like to talk about that, but it's kind of that whole body of work you put together through the year, and Q-Dogs has just done a fantastic job this year. Him and Bowling, they mire each other and how consistent they are.
I absolutely gotta agree. The only difference there is Bowling's got a lot of W's to his credit, but at the same point, the Nine Q-Dog has been consistent enough to go ahead and stay up there. In fact, I think when I was going through the points just a little bit earlier, I think 1st through 10th is like less than 100 points. So there's a lot of very fast, very consistent drivers here in the NNR Xfinity Series, and they're showing. Excuse me. They're showing again. Why they deserve to race among the best. Something happened with the 9 Q-Dog. Not sure if he hit the outside wall or not, but it put the 98 of Master Killer up at the point. The 1 car of Cole 315 down low. 47 of Bill's Legend. Now the 44 of Baritone Boss. It is a hashtag JPOM Militia top 4. Actually, scratch that, top 5, because I believe the 13 of Commando Grip is part of that as well. Do you think these guys work together in order to get their setup straight? It kind of looks like it to me, because they are nose to tail and they're pulling away.
Yeah, they're pulling away up here. And, I mean, these top 5, the old J-Paw Militia right here, as they capitalized on the 9-car tapped the wall just a tad bit. I know the 98 got to his inside a little bit when he tapped the wall, and everybody got around him. But can't say anything good or anything bad about these guys right here running in the top 5. Commando's falling off just a tad bit from the top 4. Just kind of a separation here from them in the pack. They're all jumbled up back there, three wide at times. They're having a good time back there, and maybe, just maybe, we can get Twizzle back up here and see what he can do. But the 98 is he's controlling this field, and Bill's Legend staying on the back bumper with Cole right there in the 3rd place spot. J-Pod must be smiling right now.
I would imagine he is. Tell you what, it looks like the 44 Baritone Boss, he's actually now falling off just a little bit. You got to figure, Cape, it's probably going to be just a little rough for the 44 and for the 13 to stay packed up right on the back end of the 47, of the 1, everybody behind the 98, because at that point you're dealing with a whole lot of dirty air. You're getting pulled down this front stretch, down the back stretch, into some turns where you got to be able to time your throttle control just perfectly in order to be able to stay up there with these guys, but stay out of the wall. So, man, it's got to be pretty sensitive, almost kind of like a tap dance for these guys up there.
It is, Pete. It's a whole lot of throttle control. We preach that a lot at super speedways. Drive like you got an egg underneath your foot. But guys, don't look now. But this 8 car, come back to life. He's picked up a number of positions here in the last 2 laps, and he's closing on these leaders.
Yeah, I saw him balls. I saw the 8 of Combat Beast, again, one of the guys that we're keeping up with for laps and fuel and see what the tire wear throughout the race is like and things like that. And I've seen him go on down a time or two and come on up in front of someone, and he did it with enough speed to where he didn't bog anybody down. So that 8 is going on to show why he was able to lead so many laps in stage number 1, and he's still got enough speed in that car, even with some early damage. 20 laps to go. I think he's got some time left to really try to make a couple more moves if he can just get that clean air.
Yeah, he's going to have to hope for a caution, him and the 15. They're kind of staying together here. 94 pulls a slide job on the 8. He taps up into the 38, puts him in the wall a tad bit. Oh, that stacked up the field behind him. But the 8 car benefited. He got below the 38, got the next position, and that didn't help the 15. He got in the back of the 38 there.
Yeah, the 8 car did make a little bit of contact with the back of the 90 or the 38. Not quite sure which one it was, as they were side by side. pretty good hands by that 8 to try to pull down as quick as possible without actually, making any serious contact. But there's definitely enough. As you can see, the front right of that hood is a bit crumpled. Also, as those guys were going around making a little bit of incidental contact, I saw the one of Cole 315 go duck on down pit road. Got to kind of wonder if that was planned, because I don't see a fuel issue with the 8. I don't see a tire issue with the 8. It looks like he might be doing right what he did earlier, Cape, where he was one of the first to go on down pit road. His fuel window's open, ready to come on out with some Eagle Feel Goods, and just, as I said earlier, just enough fuel to complete stage 2.
Yeah, Pete, I think that's what it is. He's pitting early to try to make the leaders pit a little earlier, but it's really a moot point because I think he was in the top 4 at the time, unless he had a tire issue or he was just way short. I don't think he should have hit pit road that earlier. But here you see the 15 going by the 8 in turn 3 and pulls a slide job, gets in front of him and keeps it rolling.
Yep, 15 was able to get on by the 8 of Combat Beast, tagged that wall just a little bit, all the way down on the apron. 15, 8, 90, and one other, not quite sure who that is right now, but all single file, still keeping it green. That's going to be the 38 and the 90, all still keeping it green. Now that 15's got a ton of clean air on that nose, and it doesn't look like he's got any damage like the 8 or a couple of others behind him. Looks like it looks like he's actually able to gain a little bit of separation already. Does he have the speed to get back up there? Mid-teens to go.
Yeah, I still think they're going to need a caution. Those two and the group behind them are going to need something to kind of help them get back up there. These green flag pit stops aren't really going to give you that much of an advantage. I mean, J-Paw's Militia has pulled away with the top 4. Is definitely putting on a show up there, and they're staying single file. They're not really battling it out. They're not having to push the car as hard as you normally would back here in the back. So as the race progresses, we'll see who's going to rise to the top. I mean, you got to save your tires. You have to be patient. You can't be too aggressive. And some of these guys like here in the back have gotten just a little bit aggressive and put themselves in the wall. So we'll see as the race goes on who's gonna pull away with this win. But Commando Griff up here sitting in 4th, he's looking pretty strong as he caught back up here to the top 3.
Yeah, he's right behind the 44 of Baritone Boss. Baritone right behind the 47 of Bill's Legend. And right now, everybody's behind that 98 of Master Killer. Again, MK very, very strong all through last season when we were doing a few giveaways and things like that. Very, very instrumental in helping me keep votes and whatnot in the chat. I'm not sure if the 44 right there is signaling that he's going to come on down pit road or if he was going to try a little bit of a slide job. Nope, looks like he's hard on the brakes, getting ready to make that left down pit road right behind the 47 of Bill's Legend, side by side. No issue getting in. Looks like they were both woed up in enough time, and that's going to leave the 98, and I think he had one more with him. Yep, 13 of Commando Griff. So a couple of buddies came in, a couple of buddies still out there on the track. We'll have to see who comes out first. My money's on the first 2 that pit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think those two pitting right there, sitting in the 2nd and 4th position, or 2nd and 3rd position with Smart, it allows them to get ahead of the 98 of Master Killer. I thought the guys behind them, I thought that the Combat Beast and Matters would fit right there as well to kind of get a little bit more space gain on the leaders, but they stayed out an extra lap, and I believe they pitted this time by. But I was kind of thinking that they were going to come hit at the same time, but now they're going to have more of a gap to close when those two come off pit road.
Well, let's see, the 8-car Combat Beast and the 15 of King Mathers, they were the ones really working their way through the field as that all started. Judging by Combat Beast's stream right now, looks like he is currently sitting in P number 1. He just went on by everybody that's down there on pit road. It looks like they've got about 9 laps remaining here, and he's got 5 laps of fuel in the tank. Cape, you got to figure Combat Beast needs to get on down and pit here as soon as possible. In stage number 1, he lost all kinds of time, but luckily came on out at the very end. I think Ball said he might have taken 2, but wasn't able to hold off to 15 to King Mathers. Do you think he learned anything from that, or do you think he's going to try the same thing yet again here at the end of stage 2?
Yeah, I think you learned not to take 2 tires, Pete. For just being honest, for some reason, whatever it is, unless there's like 2 or 3 laps to go at the end of the race, 2 tires just does not work at these speedways. You carry so much speed, and you're scrubbing those left sides off just as much as the right. Just the right side certainly wears more, but just the imbalance in the car afterwards. And the 8 car has got a little bit of damage, so he's going to have to fix that as well. So if it was me, if I didn't have any tire issues, I would probably do a splash and go as well as he's running right now.
Yeah, you figure he's got to try to keep the time that he's got. All right, so we'll have to wait and see if the 8 of Combat Beast comes on down, going by pit road or the access to pit road. This time, he's got 3 laps left in the tank right now. His tire light is on. It's got him. It's screaming at him. His front right is sitting at 15%, now 14. 2 laps left in the tank, 7 laps left to go in the stage. He's just got to come on down, but it looks like he's gonna not signal yet this time, and there's got to be faster cars behind him. Tag that wall just a little bit. It's time to bring this Hellman's Camaro in before he's spread too thin all over this track, and maybe a caution will come out, but it'll be because of him selecting somebody else. He can't stay out forever.
Yeah, he's losing massive amount of time to the top 5 as he continues to go along. It looks like at this time he's still not signaling to come to pit road. There he goes. Now he's signaling he's going to come down. So this time by he's going to come in. I would imagine that he wouldn't take 2 here. 2 tires to me would be detrimental to his chances of getting a decent spot in the stage. But it's good on him. He's tried something. He played the strategy to try to get a caution. To advance himself up higher than he was. He would have trapped the field a lap down. I mean, most of the field would have been trapped down, so he would have been the overall beneficiary of that one. But right now we look at, I think the 98 is probably going to come out and still be holding this lead.
Yeah, 98 with the one of Cole 315 right behind him. Then you got the 38. So we'll have to see exactly what it is that the 8 of Combat Beast does in that Hellman's Junior Motorsports Camaro. I'm pretty sure he's just going to take 2 and work his way on out. As you see the 98 go screaming on by, it was not enough. So the 98 got his lap back and then some, and that's going to push that 8 car all the way back to at least after the top 10. He's not going to be able to come back up on track until he fills in at right about P11. Like you said, Vols, he tried something. Hopefully he learned that in stage 3 not to stay out that long because he lost way too much track position. And I'm trying to find, I think the leader has all cycled back out to not the 98, but it's actually going to be the 9 of Q-Dog, your overall points leader so far in this Xfinity series. And guys, by the way, this race is just about halfway on the regular season. We're going to, I think it's Canadian Tire after that, and then we're off for 2 weeks just after we run the All-Star race the weekend before Christmas. So whole lot of racing left to go, and then we got 2 weeks off. Now 3 laps to go here, Vols. 9 cars got a pretty promising lead back to second place. In fact, if you look from the front, looking back, there isn't a car in sight. It looks like he's got this pretty well covered.
I think he's saving fuel. He's running the middle line here. He's running the bottom. He's awfully slow coming off this corner. I think he's playing a bit of strategy himself, which is what we saw the winner do last night in Beast. Beast pulled the strategy of running that low line and saving as much fuel as possible. I think that's what Q-Dog is doing right now. I would love after this stage if he pulls it out, if we can have an old chat with Q-Dog and see what his mindset was there.
I think idea, but to agree and verify what you're thinking. Riding along right now with the 9 Bass Pro Camaro for Q-Dog as he comes across the start stripe right there to grab max points for stage number 2. He was way out of the throttle all the way through the corner. Yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can't dial up old Q-Dog, see if we can't get him in the booth for just a second. Let's take a look. And here we got him. So Q-Dog, driver of the 9 Bass Pro Camaro for the J-POM Militia. Q, it looked like during those last couple laps you were really saving quite a bit of fuel at the end of stage 2. You can neither confirm nor deny if you want, but tell us about that Camaro and how you're handling, bud. I'm gonna guess that Q-Dog is actually in a party, not actually in that chat. So we're gonna go ahead and move him on back to old. He put himself back. He says, "Pete, leave me alone. I got enough to deal with." So we'll have to see if he stacks up right where he was as we get ready to go back under the lights here, stage number 3. And we're gonna take him back green. Balls, it's gonna be your call, sir.
All right, here we come. Q-Dog gets this lead again. Baritone Boss from the 44 to his outside. Green flag back out here. 9 car gets a bit of a jump here. He got about a half a car length on him as they come down here. 1 car goes into the grass there. 9 car is going to keep this lead. 98 is going to come down to the bottom. 47, Bill's Ledge is going to come to the bottom with the 98. 9 car is going to clear. 47 is going to get side by side with second as they come down the back straightaway. Doesn't look like the 44 is going to keep P number 2. 47 is going to slide up in front, or at least try to. If he pulls right down to the bottom, 9 car is going to keep this lead and lead the first lap of stage number 3.
Yeah, stage number 3 now underway completely. Everybody around for the first green flag lap. They are 3 wide for P number 3, 98-15 to King Mathers. And I believe that was the 47 Trump machine of Bill's Legend. They thought better of it, did not stay 3 wide coming off the corner. I mean, you got to maintain some kind of speed, some kind of momentum somehow. And they figured 2 wide was the better way and allow somebody to kind of just check up and fall back. Top 3 now, all nose to tail, going into 1 and 2. One more time, Cape, I'm going to go ahead and grab a lap count next time these guys come on by. You still pulling for your driver to get it done here in stage 3, or you gotta flip your vote here, bud?
I'm gonna stay with my vote. I think combat can come from the back of this field, but the back of this field's like a hornet's nest. The 16 just got tail whipped into the wall by the 99, but it's very difficult to pass speed, and I think we're seeing that now. The only time you want to be on the bottom is on that first restart lap, and then everybody jumps to the top.
Yeah, it's you really got to try to grab it when you can while the tires are still great. That's why you see so much aggressive driving at the get-go. Now 98 a Master Killer up on the outside, 9 car Q-Dog right in that bottom to middle line. I would imagine that the 9 would not just allow the 98 to have the line, but I can't imagine why he would just arbitrarily move on down and let the 98 go. Or is he already thinking, maybe cut a fuel stop completely out of this, come on back, save fuel like he did at the end of stage 2, and maybe, it'll pay off for him a little bit later on, but there is a train of cars going by him on the high side. Buenana out there saying, love y'all, I'm retiring from Heat. It's a great group of racers, thanks for everything, just too hard to be good at both. The bolt that he is talking about, that's Jaden Gimbel. We're tough to pass, couple different gamer tags, but the man has been doing a great job in PSES on the iRacing side. I think he's got 2 or 3 wins, runs the truck series on Monday nights right around 9 or 9:30. Y'all want to go on over, check his feed out, and make sure you like the Facebook page as well. The man is all in on what he's doing for PSES. It deserves your attention. Whole lot of great racing. In fact, there's about 5 or 6 of of NNR's best that take part in those truck races on Monday night as well. So make sure you want to go on over, follow, and root those guys on mainly. But Gimbal, definitely wish you a whole lot of luck, buddy. I'll see you at Darlington, sir. All right, still going back on through the field, catching up with the 38 and the 5 of Lil Tank. Both of these guys got the 5 of Combat Beast right in their, right in their immediate sight. Balls, that 9 has dropped all the way back to about 10th or 11th.
Yeah, the 9 cars fell back. I think him and the 15 are on the same strategy here, saving fuel and saving tires. As they went 3 wide on that initial restart, the 15 was 15 and the 9 were sitting up front, and they dropped back really far. I don't know. They're both running the low line of this track, and to bring the light to your point is I have a wild feeling that they are trying to cut one of the pit stops out, or at least cut a couple laps of fuel. This might come to a fuel mileage race, and these guys might be putting themselves in the catbird seat as we progress through and wind these laps down.
Looks like we got another retiree. We saw the one of Cole 315 go through the grass on the restart, now parked on pit road. So this one Oreo Camaro is out of the race. He's not going to get last place stage or last place points. That will be reserved for JR Big Dogs, which unfortunately wasn't able to make the race tonight. He was ready to go and then got called into work. So J-Pa, because he was in attendance and ready to go, he's going to go ahead and give him last place points. So the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow, he was the first to lag out or leave or whatever happened there. And then the 1 and then the 20. So though I believe that's the way those points will fall. Or when it comes to Oreo cookies, that's the way the cookie's going to crumble. Coming across the start stripe to complete one more time. Once the Hellman's Camaro, that 8 car comes across the line, I'll grab a lap count there, and it looks like 97 laps to go in this race.
I don't know how much of a stop they can cut out saving fuel. I would imagine they probably get 26 to 35 laps on a tank of gas. But, it's going to be interesting to see if the Helmets car can cover the spread and get back to the front there.
J-Pie out there in chat saying Yote's the best 22 in NNR. I don't know, J-Pie. I don't know. In the beginning of the season, you told me when you made it to the booth a couple times, Pete, I only ever got to talk to you at restrictor plates. Well, you broke that curse, and you were up there a couple times, a little bit of contact with the 98 and that outside wall. That's going to allow the 47 of Bill's Legend to get on by. 13 of Commando Grip right in his back pocket. And here is that 22 Odyssey battery Ford Mustang now sitting in P3. 98 back to P4, and the 90 now sitting in P5. But here comes that 8 Hellman's Camaro now sitting in about P7. Yeah, Cape, he's on the march.
Tennessee Balls, I'm kind of embarrassed because I thought that Odyssey car, I thought that was Odyssey Golf, like the putters. I had no idea those were batteries. Learned something.
Yeah, I was sitting here watching this 47 take this lead. 47-22. They've been kind of here stalking the prey just a little bit. The 22's been very quiet. Just been doing what he's got to do. And the more patience we talk about in these type of races, if you're just riding this high line, it's kind of like a Darlington. When you're riding a Darlington, you have to be really, really patient. The more patient driver wins the race. And here at Kansas is the same way. If you make one mistake and you touch that wall, you can drop from. Right now we have about the top 7, top 8 sitting in a line. If the 47 hits this wall or the 22 hits the wall, they're going to the back. They're just going to cycle back around them, and then they're going to have to work their way back up. And you basically have to hope for a mistake of the driver in front of you to try to make some progression up to the field. But this 8 car, to Kate's point, this 8 car is making moves without people making mistakes. He's diving down the bottom, carrying the speed and the momentum to fly back up in front of him, and he's carrying on.
Yeah, really, he's able to get that throttle down just as he is right now. 98 up high. 8 realized that he was not completely clear. Even if his spotter said he was, no trust there. Checked his outside mirror, able to move on, keeping that 8 Hellman's Camaro down low. Ladies and gentlemen, out in the chat, the one and only Stout Whiskey. Stout says, what's up, Cape? What's up, Walls? What's up, Pete? What's up, Stout? How are you, buddy?
And this also begs the question, Balls and Pete, the 8 car has been the best car on fuel all night. He's ran 4 or 5 laps more than everybody. When does that patience turn to aggressiveness there, Balls? And how soon do you start giving that person in front of you just a little nudge to get them a little bit loose?
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, the laps have to get down. To me, this is me personally. You know, I've raced with a couple of these guys. The aggression level doesn't really pick up with these guys. You know, at certain points they get a little bit antsy and they want to go make a move. But to be honest, the 8 car has kind of been perfect on tires and fuel. You know, he's had the perfect balance here, and he's able to manage both ends of the car. He's not having to overly be aggressive and drive the car harder than the guys up front. You know, to me, he embodies the perfect, one of the perfect racers. He's calm, cool, and collected. He's fast, and he's able to see where people are messing up at. You know, he just made a pass on 2 people right there, all because they were slower in the center of the corner. They had to burp it just a tad bit, and now he's making a move on the 98 to get it to number 4.
Yeah, Combat B is definitely making moves on the bottom side and high side, so much so that other drivers are realizing and seeing the speed that he's got. The 5 a Little Tank went with him. The 13 a Commando Grip went with him. I believe it was the 44 of Baritone Boss gave him a little bit of a shot. Now here he is on the high side. He's going to have the advantage over the 98 of Master Killer, and it looks like he's going to be able to keep that momentum up on the high side. 5 a Little Tank's going to go right along with him. Just like that, the 98 of Master Killer is going to pull right in front, and the 5 absolutely cut him a break. There's no way there was no way that the 98 was going to be clear. Man, he needs to add the 5 to his Christmas mailer and send him a big old thank you. Because yeah, that was a gift if I ever saw one. But now the 8 made a little bit of contact with that outside wall. All this going on as even the leaders are kind of battling it out a little bit. We'll go ahead and move on up, catch up with the 90 of Twizzle, 22 of Yotes King, and the 47 of Bill's Legend battle for side by side for the points. I'm sorry, for the race lead.
Yeah, Bill's Legend sponsor might have finished second in a certain thing, but he's number 1 on the tracks right now. The second place car, the Odyssey battery Ford, is sitting there in P number 2, and here comes Twizzle out of nowhere. Twizzle has been quiet this entire race. We've talked about it maybe once or twice in this broadcast, but here he is driving to P number 2 on the outside. He makes slight contact with the wall, and now it looks like he is going to go down, drop to the bottom, let the 98 go around him. And I don't know, it looks like he might be coming down pit road. Nope, he's going to stay out there. Little Tate's going to come to the outside, move Twizzle back to the 5th place position, as now the 8 car is going to move out front.
Fatless Dig out there in chat giving away 10 gifted subs. He gave one to Miss Ellie 1102, gave one to a bunch of other guys out there in chat. Fatless, thank you very much for your donation, for your charity. I'm sure everybody will love it. Now, from now on, for at least the next month, anytime they tune in, they got that commercial-free, content. They can catch all these races. They ain't got to worry about any sales, cutting in on their stream. They can just enjoy me, Balls, Cape, Rick James, Lucky Dog, Word Burton, which we'll catch up with tomorrow. Fatless Dig, I've known you now for a while, buddy. You're an amazing personality right here with among all these racers, buddy. I really do appreciate you. Thank you once again.
We got the leader hitting pit road, Pete. The 47 car's blowing it down to get down pit road. Gave up the lead, and the 22 car resumes the lead.
Yep, 22 of Yotes King. I don't know. J-Pa said 22 is the best 22 driver in NNR. Man, I tell you, he's another one that's kind of silently moved up in position. He hung around with the leaders for the last several laps. More and more people trying to woe it up, bringing on down to pit road speed. Just like the 44 Baritone Boss, he's got 3 others in front of him, 1 right behind him. I think that's going to be the 13 of Commando Griff. 83 laps remaining here. We'll have to see who comes on out, who recaptures the lead. If it's going to be the 8 or somebody else. Right now, 5 Little Tank with the 90 right in front of him. There's a 98, a Match Killer down on the bottom side. Here comes the 47 of Bill's Legend. They're going to come up to take the spots away. Did they wait too long here, Balls?
Yeah, I think they've kind of waited just a little bit too long. We saw Bill's Legend come on pit road. I mean, all the leaders came down in basically a lap between one another. Everybody came down at the exact same time except for the 22. He pitted just a little bit later with the 8. And now I'm looking at the 47 now. As he's coming around, he's going to overtake the 2 that stayed out 1 lap later than him. And we're going to put him back out front.
Now, guys, imagine this. 9 car out in the lead. Quite a little ways back behind everybody else. Just now coming down pit road, a few laps after the very first people started to pit. I'm gonna guess he's already thinking ahead to where he finished in stage number 2. Stole max stage points, way off the throttle all the way on through both ends of this track. Is he going to be able to get it done again? Well, we'll have to see. He will be the one out here on the newest tires later on in the run when everybody else is falling off. I think this could be a good play for this Bass Pro Camaro, but he gave up a lot of time as well, so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to catch up. That'll be his first goal.
That's going to be the telltale, Pete, because we just saw the 8 do something that he hasn't done all race long. He pitted with a group of cars. Normally he was the last car on pit road with about 5 laps left in the run. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can manage that. Can I save enough gas to make it on 2 more stops versus how fast do I have to run to stay on the lead lap?
Well, right now the 5-car Little Tank being shown as the leader just in front of the 22 of Yotes. He's got the 90 right in front of him. There is that 8 behind him, as well as the 98 of Master Killer. So the 8 and 98 are drafting. The top 3, even though I think there might be a car about ready to go a lap down mixed in with the 5 that's really helping him keep up the pace, such as the 90 and maybe the 47, not 100% sure, unless I'm seeing this screen wrong. Let me actually go ahead and blow it. Nope, it's actually not the 5. It's a very, very small 47. So right now, Bill's Legend back up in the lead, not the 5, a Little Tank.
Well, Bill's Legend's kind of put about a car length distance between him and the 5, a Little Tank. They made contact there going in the corner. The 47 and the 5 were side by side there. And the 47 kind of slid up the track and got into him, put him in the wall a tad bit, and it slowed the momentum of the guys in 3rd and 4th. But it's not hurting the 47 right now as he continues to lead this field. We're going to see what is Q Dog's strategy here. What are these guys going to do? Is he going to stay out and try to save the fuel? And how far of a gap can he be behind the leaders to get himself a gap while he's saving fuel to not get past while he's doing what he needs to do to try to win this race?
Kate, what do you think? You think he's going, maybe 10, 15 laps hard and then kind of backing it down just so he doesn't get lapped and then gets back on the throttle when he has to just before he comes on down pit road? It kind of seems like that's what's been happening, except just the opposite. He was falling back in the beginning. I mean, we saw him drop from the lead all the way back to about 10th or 11th spot, ride back there, really managing his stuff, and was the last one to pit. And then, it just seems like he's really playing the race from a fuel point rather than, a speed point, and just letting these guys go. Cole 315 now out there was trying to make this, but my flew Man, so sick, just couldn't do it anymore. Q-Dog better bring this home. I tell you what, Cole, you just worry about making yourself better. I'm sure a J-Paw Militia win would help you feel better. But just know that I know how you're feeling. I got my missus downstairs right now feeling like hell as well. So absolutely hope you're feeling better, sir.
Yes, sir. Cole, we hope you get to feeling better. Pete, this is the last stage of the race. It's always the same. You work it backwards, right? How many laps of fuel can I get per run?
Yep.
Break that down into the stops. And then at Kansas, it's really hard to save enough fuel because you're full throttle, I'd say 90 to 96% of the time, even when you're trying to save fuel. So unless he's popping that clutch and riding it, I really don't see how he's going to save enough fuel to cut out a complete stop.
I don't know either. I don't know if Q-Dog has, I'm pretty sure he's got a wheel. I don't know if he's got the shifter to be able to pop it out of gear and really just run it in neutral. When I was kind of following along with him, I didn't hear the motor almost die. I did still hear it, running, quite a bit, just not as hard as what you might find when someone's coming off the corner. He was pretty much out of the throttle all the way around through 3 and 4 as he coasted across the line. Didn't even worry about fuel. It didn't sound like he was sputtering. Still had some in the tank. So he's absolutely playing that strategy. We'll just have to see if it works out for him in the long run. The man, again, sitting atop the points almost halfway through the season. He's been in the top 3 many times, been through post-race interviews many times. We'll have to see if he's the smart one of the bunch and is able to use his head rather than use the muscle of the car. We'll have to see.
Don't look now, that 8 car slowly creeping back up there. Him and the 98 had a battle back there for the 5th place position, or for the 6th place position going into 5th. And now the 8 car is on the back bumper of the 22 here as they come into turn 1 and 2. The 90 is going to go to the outs, or the 5 is going to go to the bottom of the 90. He's going to try to complete that slide job, but he's to no prevail here as the 8's going to go to the inside of the 22. Also, he's going to slide back up, get him another position, move him into the top number 4 here. But if the 47 right now is screaming, stop the count, he's got this race in command. He's riding high. He's riding the high
the 5 car got loose and put the 98 in the wall.
Oh, man. 98's having a great run.
Yeah, Balls, I tell you what, if this was a race to finish counting ballots, that Trump Camaro, he's still up there. He says, there's still plenty more to go. I want to get there first. I want to be the one to count them. He's not worried about looking at pictures in any kind of a Maxim magazine. 22 Odyssey battery. He's there to make sure the 47 is fully charged to get to the end of the race. Bill's legend, there is no letting up in that Camaro.
The 90 went for a slide job right there, missed, hit the wall, and now the 90 slips back to P number 4. Little Tank is going to try to pressure him for the 4th place position as now he takes it. I mean, that was a bold move on the 90. Twizzle's been known to be a little bit more aggressive than others. That was a very aggressive move, but I think he was setting himself up for the end of the race. How aggressive is too aggressive? And what is he going to have to do if he finds himself in that position to make that slide job? He was fine-tuning right there, but he ended up going to the wall like Carl Edwards against Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I remember that. Carl Edwards dove it in, said, hey, it worked on a video game, but not quite able to complete it in real life. That was just about 67 laps to go here in stage number 3. 8 car now finds himself back up in P number 3, almost as far up as he's been for the entire night. He led a few laps early in stage number 1. It looks like he's got all the damage fixed up on that Hellman's Camaro. Can he slide his way on up to first, getting on by that Trump Camaro, getting by that 22 Ford Mustang to grab the lead? Maybe release or let loose a little slick stuff out the tailpipe, make them all fall back just a little bit, 8 car's definitely got the speed to make it seem so, but can he get it done and get up there first? 15 to King Mathers, and the 38 just a little bit further back. King Mathers definitely falling way, way back in the field. Has he seen what the 9's been able to do and has picked up on that strategy? Just willing, very, very willing to fall on back for now. He grabbed some stage points in stage number 1. Not quite sure where he finished in stage number 2. He's just all about the finish line at the very end.
Here we go, battle for second. 8 car's going to dip down below the 22. Going for the slide job, but the 22's too close to the 47 for him to complete it. So now the 8's going to try to get side by side, go tuck back in behind the 22, regather his run, and see what he can do here to pass the 22 and the 47 here for the top 2 positions, as Little Tank and Twizzle are closing back into this battle for the lead.
Yeah, Cape, here comes the remaining parts of that top 5, top 6. Right now, 47 Bill's Legend, the 22 of Yotes, 8 car of Combat Beast. They've actually got a little bit of a distance now between them. Not all bumper lock. I'm not quite sure if somebody made a little bit of contact with the wall and kind of forced a little bit of separation or not. But if the 47 keep everybody right where they are now, he's gonna do pretty well. As you see the 8 kind of slide up along that outside wall just a tad to break the momentum he had.
He was trying to roll the high side there, Pete. Got too close to that wall and kissed it. It's one of those things. How much do you push in the corner and how much do you save? I was actually kind of listening to the 9 car, and he is being really easy on that throttle coming through the corner. He's not even full throttle coming off the corner. He doesn't get back on it until he's straight on that back straightaway. So I don't think fuel's going to play a big part, but if you can save, 4 laps of run, it might be a big strategy for you.
Well, a Sword Out Cole out there in chat saying the 22 is just being patient, and it's worked so well. Cole, I gotta agree with you 100%. He hasn't been up front, hasn't led a ton of laps, but he has been up there and around all the other leaders, it seems like, for the last 2 stages. Now as the 47 of Bill's Legends diving down to the bottom line, maybe conserving just a little bit of right front. Nope, he's going to lock it up and try to bring it on down pit road. Is he able to get it down to pit road speed? We'll have to see how much time he spends on there. Looks like the 5 Little Tank right there with him as well. And that's going to lead that's going to hand the lead over to this 22 of Yotes King. The 8 car of Combat Beast right in his rear view. Neither one of these guys signaling that they're going to be coming on down pit road. Really keeping that Ford Mustang up high, wide, and handsome, just the same as old Harry Gant. 8 car to the inside, a little bit of contact. That pushed the 22 up just a little bit. 22 spinning around off the 8 where it just bounced off the wall. Not exactly sure what happened, but I don't think the caution's going to come out. We're going to stay green. 22 went around almost by himself. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, tough break for the 22 right there as the 8 and him made contact. I think he hit the little glitch in the wall. Everybody has an issue here on this game. And here at Kansas, there's small little glitches on the wall. In NASCAR Heat 4, if you touch the wall in the center of the corner, it basically sucked you in. It was like an octopus grabbing you, and you couldn't get off of it. You were just stuck to it. And when you come down the front straightaway, if you hit the little bend in the tri-oval, it will send your car into a tailspin. And the 22 hit it at the perfect spot, and it could have demoralized his race without a caution.
Yeah, so far it doesn't look like they're racing back to the line. On board right now with the 44 Baritone Boss Cape. He's got this Skyview Camaro still way up high, trying to get back in the throttle as soon as possible. I don't see a caution either by the game or the audible called by the one and only J-Pod. J-Pod is out there in chat, keeping an eye on everything that's going on. And I guess what he saw was not enough to warrant the caution. We're staying green. We'll have to see where the 8, the 13, the 47, the 22, and others fare, especially the 22, when everything comes on back. J-Pot and Monster Mike, thank you both very much for the 100 bits, 200 combined. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you, fellas.
That's Pete. I'm riding along with this 9 car. I don't think he's pit yet, but He is still rolling that bottom of the track really slow, saving those fuel, saving that tire. And it looked like the 22 and the 9, or the 22 and the 8, they just got a little loose coming off the corner there. And like Ball said, that wall, it will reach out and grab you, and it will hold you in it and spin you around.
Let's see. Paul's 57 laps to go from the onboard with that 8 of Combat Beast. You just saw the 13 catch up to the 9, and really, I mean, he had to get out of the gas. He came up on him so fast until he was able to work a line around him. The entire top 3 or 4 just worked their way on past the 9, but the 9 right now has got to be your leader, and no sign of coming down pit road anytime soon. He's still just hugging that bottom. Even now, he's not signaling. He just let everybody go on by, go about their merry old business.
He sure did give everybody their lap back. He's got a full lap lead on these leaders here, and the 9 doesn't signal that he's coming down to pit road anytime soon. He's going to continue to drive this out. I mean, the longer he stays out, the worse it's going to be when they do cycle through. But to me, right now, he's playing the strategy like a fiddle, and he's doing what he's got to do to save the tires. And when he has to open it up, I'm sure he could open it, but there's no sense in it. He has what he has, and now he's just made his bed. He's got to lie in it.
You know something? If I'm not mistaken, when the 8 just went on down pit road, they were talking about 27 laps per tank, if I'm not mistaken. And guess what? As this 9 comes on down, he has now split the remaining laps. He can do it right down the middle. As he comes to the line, 54 laps remaining. 27 and 27, that's going to get it done. I think the only thing that could take the race win away from this 9 of Q-Dog is a caution. Whether it's timely or untimely during the next pit stop, we'll have to see. But I think what the 9's done just right now is actually secured this win. We'll have to check. But as the 8 comes around, the 9, that's going to put the 47 of Bill's Legend back in the lead just as the 9 comes out. So when 9 merges back up on track, he's going to be just about a quarter lap down. Do you think that's too much time, Cape?
You know, Pete, I think it is, because he's going to have to save a lap on both runs. Dirty little secret about heat is that just say you have 27 laps, so what it really means is 26 and a half laps. So he's going to have to save at least a half a lap of fuel both runs. So it really just depends. You know, if we get another caution, there goes that entire strategy, and it's going to be interesting to see how he manages it.
Yep, TGM Beast out there in chat with the big old hashtag JPOW Militia. TGM Beast got his first ever NNR win last night in the Truck Series. Go figure, on fuel mileage. Exactly what the 9 Bass Pro Camaro for Q-Dog is trying to do right now. Have to see if it pays off 2 nights in a row. And if that's the case, can J-Pop follow up suit with the rest of his militia tomorrow night when the Cup guys try their hand all the way around this high banked mile-and-a-half track of Kansas Motor Speedway under the lights? J-Paw's been looking for that elusive first win. Can he, right along with the rest of his buddies, get it done? We'll have to see.
If your militia's out there winning, you might as well go ahead and lock it up. I know J-Paw's out in the chat. Give you a little bit of a thing here, buddy. A little bit of confidence boost. I'm going to go ahead and pick you to win tomorrow night's race, even if one of your boys don't do this. So go out there and do me proud, and go get your first win of the season.
There you go, J-Paw. Cape's calling you out right now, saying you're going to have what it takes. And I tell you what, I think if you compare the strategies between TGM Beast and the 9 of Q-Dog, you might just have you might have a winning strategy. And now the Cup guys, they do race 50%, so it's going to be just a little bit different for you. But still, you've got a lot of resources to pull from. I'll take that bet. I think J-Paw's going to be very, very close, if not grabbing that first win tomorrow night right here at Kansas.
I'd have to have a third on that, Pete. But I think tomorrow night I'm just going to have to go with Stout or Dan. Stout runs really well. He keeps his car clean, and he's fast everywhere. I've learned a ton from Stout, so I'm going to be a detractor, and I'm going to go with that 2 car.
Well, there you go. Stout Whiskey, if you're still out there, old Balls has you picked for tomorrow to get that deuce in victory lane. We'll have to see. Right now, though, riding along with the 47 Trump Train Camaro all the way around turns 1 and 2, heading down the backstretch. And as you look behind this 47 Patriotic Scheme, there is nobody there. Anybody that's going to try to catch this locomotive up front, they're going to have to do a little bit of working together. There is, about 4 or 5 cars back there. Not quite sure how many of them are a lap down, if any. But, yeah, right now this 47 has a very, very healthy lead. All kinds of fresh air on the nose of this Camaro and can really just worry about his line. Doesn't have to push it up to the high side, Balls, and he doesn't have to worry about diving down low. He can hit all his marks on his own time. Nobody anywhere near his immediate rear view.
No, ain't nobody there. He can just sit there and ride, coast it out as much as he can. This is his chance to save fuel. I know last night we had Bolin. He had a massive lead, and he said in the post-race interview, I should have saved fuel when I had the chance. And he had the chance. And right now, Bill's Legend has the perfect opportunity to roll the corner just a little bit more. Don't get back on the throttle in the center. Just kind of float it. And then when the lead starts to trickle down about a second and a half, then get back in the gas. But make them use their fuel to catch you. Don't use yours to pull away even further. Just back it down a little bit and try to split this run a little bit easier to have more laps to catch the 9 car if he splits this run into 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, now out there in chat, your 4-time winner so far this year in the Cup Series, the one and only More Smoke. Guys, I tell you what, if you ever have to try for a safe bet on any of these tracks, you're going to try out for an More Smoke driving that number 9 car, which, who knows, 9 could just be the number of the week, although we're all talking about J-Pa. And then, of course, the 42 is C, GMX Rose. Those two have really dominated this season so far, both tied up with 4 wins. In that Cup Series, we're going to see all those, both of those guys plus several others running this track high, wide, and handsome tomorrow night. We'll have to see who's going to be able to get it done. But Amor, definitely big thanks for coming out, hanging out. Definitely appreciate you, kind of watching along with everybody else, bud.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kate.
watching this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're Combat and the 98 are trying to follow the 90 car in front of them, and they keep swapping positions a little bit, going down the back stretch and the front stretch coming off the corner. So they're not doing themselves any favor trying to catch that 47 Trump Train car.
No, not at all. It looks like the 90 Maximum machine just actually tagged that outside wall. That allowed the 98 of Master Killer to grab one more spot. So now there's one car in between arguably a couple of the faster cars in this pack of 5. You got the 98 of Master Killer, the 90, then you got the 8 of Combat Beast, and the 13 of Commando Griff. He hasn't really been any bit of a slouch tonight either, but it looks like he's got a lot of damage to the front end of that 13 car. So we'll have to see what happens there. TGM Beast looking for a position update for the militia. Beast, we can absolutely try, but unfortunately that is one part of the tool that we were offered, but we're not given. It's kind of hard to grab all the spots for you. We've only got one streamer right now. That is this 8 Hellman's Camaro for Combat Beast. I can tell you he's running P4, and he's got a few of your buddies right around him. He's got the 22 there. He's got the 90. He's got the 98 of Master Killer, as well as the 13 of Commando Griff right behind him. So I'd have to say the bulk of the J-Pop Militia are right here in the top 5, sir.
You got the 22. I think he's a lap down, Pete, but he was in the top 5 no more than 30 laps ago. I don't know if he just missed the setup on the car, or he spun, right, Balls?
Yeah. Him and the 8.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if they had something together, or if, as you said, or as Balls said earlier, if just kind of tagged the wall, kind of like what we saw at Dover a few weeks back. When somebody was just riding down the front stretch, all of a sudden the wall came out and bit him, and that's all she wrote. You're welcome, Beast. Absolutely. Thanks again for being here, and congratulations one more time on your win last night right here from Kansas. Definitely wish you a lot more. A little bit of lag, a little bit of instability between the 5, the 8, and others. It is, what time we got here, ladies and gents? It is 10:30. I'm hoping that this isn't the bump just running a little late. I'm hoping we can stay in. A lot of rubber banding going on. Hopefully it settles down and we can finish this out green.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I started seeing some lag on my screen with the top leaders about 30 minutes ago. I looked down. I mean, it's 12:30, 12:31 over here on the Korea side of the world, but it's still, we have our lag spikes over here as well, and it ain't the most stable internet for me. So hopefully we can keep this rolling and keep it green, and see if that 9 car can pull this out. As the 8 car goes in the wall, 13 gets under him. Top 2 are coming down pit road. Commando's gonna take this lead.
Yeah, Commando Griff right now with the 8 of Combat Beast right behind him. I don't think the 8 lost too much time there, Cape, but just like before, the 98 came in with somebody, and now and they left these 2 out. Now I'm gonna guess the 13 and the 8 will come in together. The 8, unwisely in my book anyway, or in my opinion, came in too late before and lost too much time. We could be talking about the 8 just walking away like what we saw the 47 of Bill's Legend doing, but he gave up a lot of time, a lot of track position by choosing to stay out. We'll have to see if this 13 and 8 come in together.
You're talking about the 8. It looks like he's running the Q-Dog strategy right now. He's on the bottom of the track through the corner and just really feathering it. I don't know if he's trying to ensure that he has enough gas in that last stop, or what's going on, but he's running probably low middle of the track, and about, you can hear the throttle. It's not even full go. Oh, nope, he's coming down pit road.
Yep, he's going to come on down pit road. Looks like the 98 Master Killer. He was very, very low on the backstretch as well. I thought I just saw this 98 pit. Yeah, okay, so he just got loose, I'm guessing, off of turn 4 before. 35 laps remaining, and to verify, guys, I did see it right earlier. They do get 27 laps on a full tank of fuel. So Q-Dog pit with 54 to go would have crossed the line. That made it 53. I think Q-Dog still has I still think he's got the win in the bag. He's gonna have everybody. Could he actually have everybody a lap down when it's all said and done? What could the top 3 look like, Balls, if the 9 does actually lap everybody?
Man, it would be a giant shakeup in this race, as now he comes across. He's about to put the 8 car a lap down, as the 9 car looks like he has taken this lead. When Commando came down pit road, 9 car's playing this right. He only has a couple more laps to run before he makes his final pit stop of the race. Everybody else is going to have another stop after this one as well, but I mean, that cuts out the 2-stop strategy.
Yeah, Monster Mike out there saying no lag on Combat Stream, and absolutely does not agree with fuel mileage determining the win. I'm not a fan of it either on a constant basis. I gotta agree with you there, Mike. Unfortunately, it is part of NASCAR. I mean, you think about Austin Dillon's win in the Coke 600 a few years back, and just how pissed off Kyle Busch was in post-race interviews, as the 9 just allowing the 8 of Combat Beast to go on by. There is the clear difference in what the 9 is doing and the speed that the 8 went on by him with. 9 just keeping that car low, not worrying about who's coming up, who's coming on by. As long as they do it clean, this 9 is going to pit one more time, and he will be good to go, where everybody else is going to have to pit one more time for at least, 7 laps of fuel and maybe right side tires to go the distance.
I think that's going to be the difference, Pete. If you've got 7 laps to go, and Q-Dog has been out there for 17, 18 laps. on his tires. It's kind of even when you come out and get those new right sides and a half a can of fuel. So it's going to be interesting to see the end. And certainly not a fan of fuel saving. I can't do it to save my life. But, you know, it's you otherwise run hard and lap everybody in the field, or you can save fuel.
Now, Balls, I asked this earlier. Do you think the 9-car Q-Dog is just giving up too much time? We just saw the 8 of Combat Beast go on by him, and right now Combat Beast is in 8th place. 30 laps to go, which means we'll probably see the 9 come on down pit road in, about 3, maybe 4 laps. That means that there's 7 other cars in front of the 8 that are also well ahead of the 9 as well. Do you think he has absolutely given up too much time, or do you think he's saving enough to try to go all out for 1 lap before he comes on in to make up just a little bit of time? And because he hasn't abused his tires, he might have a little bit of speed left in him when it's all said and done, with maybe 3 laps to go before the end of the race.
Well, once everybody comes down in pits, he'll have everybody trapped a lap down. They'll have to go around him at least once and then try to run an entire track, which is about, I think it's about 29 seconds worth of catching up to do. He can feather it as much as he wants. I mean, 29 seconds is a pretty big gap there. And I mean, the final run, he can go as hard as he wants. So if he comes out and he starts running this car the way we know he can run it, and the speed that he has in it, I think he'll just pull away, and he'll start gapping them.
You know something, though? Cape, sorry, I was actually going to come to you. Cape, he's had to save right from the get-go in order to go 27 laps. So he's going to have to save that entire fuel run in order to go another 26 or 27 laps. Something tells me, yeah, it's going to be a great attempt. Are we calling, are we, counting our chickens before they hatch? Or do you think that the 9 has this solidly in the bag? Man, to me personally, between the time that he's already down on the track, the time that he's going to be on the track in order to go the next 26 or 27 laps, I think in the end it's going to be a valiant effort. I don't know if the 9's actually got it anymore.
I don't think that you can save that much fuel and stay ahead of the cars in front of you that are running all out. It's like I said earlier, it's difficult to save fuel at Kansas because you're in the throttle so much. But I mean, if the strategy works, hey, hats off to him. It is what it is, and if it works and it plays out the way he wants it to, he played it masterfully. But my bet is the cars that are running full out, they're going to catch him fairly quickly when they come back out of the pits.
Well, 24, 25 laps remaining. Right now, Bill's Legend, he's got the entire field in the rear view. I mentioned a moment ago that the 8-car of Combat Beast is sitting in P6. Both of those guys are actually on the same end of the track. So if you look behind the, I'll actually get up to the 8 right now and look behind him, see if we can actually find the 9-car. Seeing somebody down low back there, not quite sure what that was all about, but we'll have to, let me see if I can catch up with this 9, see who his closest competition is, and see if it's anybody that's actually in the top 6. No, nobody anywhere around this Bass Pro. So still, one of the instances where we really need the position tracker here on screen, or just maybe one more person out there that was streaming to help us out. Commando Griff is in P4, Baritone Boss P5, Combat Beast P6. So, 47. He's got a pretty healthy lead, and we saw the 9 blast on by. I'm sorry, we saw the 8 blast on by the 9 when he was coming off pit road. It's gonna be, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, but you also have to look at the fact that he is on the fresher tires, and he pitted with about 26 to go, so that's going to play into his hand as well. I mean, he pitted with enough time that he could possibly get the lead and then start saving. I'm not saying that necessarily that's what I want to see, But if he was, when everybody comes down pit road, he could wait and save that half a lap or that lap later on in the run and make it just a tad bit easier on him after he gets a lead, and maybe a commanding lead at that. Either way, I think the 9 car, with the way it stands right now, he might have the 47 challenge him because he is going all out right now. But other than that, I just kind of see this 9 car, if it stays green, the 9 car is going to pull away with a win here.
It's very possible. Right now, the 47's got 1 car up ahead of him. Again, he's coming on down pit road this time. So this is the last pit for the 47. And there's 20 laps to go. So the 47 come on down, grab just enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. Try to keep the car as light as possible with 4 brand new Regal Feel Goods. Come on out and try to take this win. Now the 47, the 98, the 9, the 13, and all that. Again, they're all part of that. Hashtag JPA militia. Man, I tell you what, if you don't share your strategy with the rest of your buddies, what does that say? But again, the 9 has been consistent all season long. Have to see if he can grab it right here at Kansas, and see where the rest of these guys, as the saying goes, see where the rest of the chips fall. With the 47 down on pit road, that handed the lead back over to the 13 of Commando Grip in front of the 8 car of Combat Beast, just as they were earlier. We'll have to see if those two come on in together. Now 18 laps remaining. It's going to be all out. We'll just have to see who falls where. But 13 and the 8, they're going to be coming on down for their final pit stop. In fact, 13 is coming on down right now. We'll see if we can catch up with them and see what they've got left, what kind of time they make up. Here's the 13 and the 8. Nope, the 8 did not come down. So right now the 8 of Combat Beast is your leader. He should be coming in next time by.
I think you're going to see the 8 run it until he absolutely has to pit and take as little fuel as possible, and maybe right side tires. That's the only play that he has. He's scraped the wall quite a few times this run, and he needs to keep that track position any way he can.
Well, Valsey's got a pretty healthy lead. I think that's the 98 of Match Killer right behind him. He's got a good old 20s or so car length lead. Still up front, up high, all the way around. It doesn't look like, well, obviously he didn't signal that time as he comes off turn 4 all the way up against the wall, all the way down on the apron across the start stripe. That's going to bring us to about 13 laps remaining, and still out there. I can tell he doesn't have his menu up telling me how many laps of fuel he's got left in the tank. Didn't status this time either. Cape, I think you're 100% right. I think he's staying out as long as he can, hoping for that caution word to fly, whether it's by game or by JPA having to call an audible off of something that he might see elsewhere. But yeah, 8 car still in the lead, and he is on the opposite side of the track from the 9.
Yeah, my wife just texted me and said we need a ticker at the top telling us where people are at. Honey, I'm in the same boat you are, and I'm sure Pete's in the same boat as well. We would love to have one of those. They gave us one, and they didn't. But thanks to I think it was, who was it that sent out the subs to everybody? So you stuck around and you got a free subscription to Pete's channel. So whenever you tune back into another NNR race, you can watch commercial free along with me, and you get a little star next to your name.
That's right. There you go. Yep. So if she plays games or anything like that, she gets a little bit of extra there. And like you said, no commercials whatsoever for Mrs. Valls, and absolutely glad to have her along.
Yeah, she's enjoying this NASCAR stuff. We're going to get her to do something a little bit different. When I come back to the state, she's going to become the social media ambassador, and we'll hear her voice on my Twitch stream. And maybe with having a woman on there, it'll get me a couple more followers and maybe some subscribers. And who knows? we'll put a camera up there for us, and we'll sit there and do it together.
Yeah, have to see. 8 car coming across the line one more time. This is going to be lap 189 of 200, so 11 laps to go. Rock NASCAR out there in chat saying the leader had about 4 laps of fuel left in the tank. So, yeah, Combat Beast's going to have to come on down at some point. By now, guys, I have to think that everybody has come on down, got their last service for the race. Do you think the 8 is just out here just hoping for a caution for something on track, not necessarily somebody screwing up, coming on into pit road and collecting, or 2 cars coming on down pit road together and collecting each other? I think the 8 might be grasping at straws, and just as I say that, he signals to come on into the pit this time. We'll have to see who inherits the lead, if it's going to be the 9 or somebody else. Other people might have chosen to take just a splash, maybe a couple rights if they practice it, and come on back out.
Yeah, that 8 car stayed out as long as he could possibly stay out right there. Good move, very good move. It puts him, if he takes 4 tires right here, he'll come out. He'll have the fresher Goodyears. He might be able to make a couple positions up. They started to even out as the run progressed. He stayed out long enough for the tires to even themselves from the guys that pitted to him. So now he's going to come out with the fresher tires, and he's going to be able to make some positions up here as they go along. But as we go back here and we try to find this 9 car, the 9 car's kind of in the catbird seat. He's right now. He's searching around. He's not all the way against that white line safe and fuel. He's all the way in it through the whole corner. So now, what is the 9 going to do, and how long can he keep this lead? If he doesn't hear it right here, if our prediction is correct and he goes out front, what can he do here with about 9 to go?
Well, Cape, was it you that said if you came down pit road and just took 2, that it made the car too tight, or am I confusing the conversation with somebody else during pre-race?
No, he stepped away for a thick run.
I think you're confusing me with somebody else, Pete. But,
okay, my bad. Yeah, somebody had said that they couldn't take 2 tires because it made the car or truck last night too tight. I can tell you that the 8 car Combat Beast did try that, and he just slammed that outside wall, so I'm guessing he was just a bit too tight as well. Right now the 9 is showing as the leader, and nobody anywhere near him. Okay, so it was Monster Mike or NNR Chevy that said that he couldn't do it because it made him too tight. There you see the 22 of Yotes King allowing the 9 of Q-Dog to go on by as he comes across the line. That should have been right about 6 or 7 laps to go. So this Bass Pro Camaro, Balls, it looks like he's going to have what it takes, unless somebody with some fresher tires can come on up. I don't know if this car right behind him, I think that might be the 98 of Master Killer, or actually no, I take that back. I think that's the 22 of Yotes that he just passed. He's gonna have clear sailing now. 7 laps remaining off of Combat Beast stream. Again, big thank you to Combat Beast in that Hellman's Camaro for allowing us to ride along all night long to keep up with laps, fuel, the strategy that has played out all night long. And it does look like the 9 had he had the idea right from the get-go in stage number 3, when we were all wondering why he was relinquishing the lead, not running up high, allowing the 98 to go on by. Well, here is the reason why. Coming to 6 to go, and the man's in a mission, and he's got a whole lot of track in front of him. Just a 5 right in front of him, Balls.
Yeah, you said in our pre-race meeting that the 9 car is one of those guys. He's leading the point series, but he has 0 wins on the season. If you look in the top 5, the only person in the top 5 of these point standings that has a win is King Mathers right now, and now it's Q-Dog stepping up. He's been up here. He's been interviewed at the end of these races. He's finished 3rd. I believe he finished 2nd, but he hasn't closed the deal on a win. Now he's played strategy perfectly, and if you look behind him, there's nobody other than a lap down car that's even remotely on the same straightaway as him.
I mean, he's all the way into turn number 3, and there's still nobody coming off of 2.
Yeah, I'd really love to know exactly how many cars are on the lead lap. You see the 5 of Little Tank move on up, allow the 9 to go. That's the 22 of Yotes King right behind him, and still following along with this 9. I am very, very impressed. Like I said, in order to make this work, he had to back out of the throttle in order to go 27 laps, and he's doing it even this far back, because there's nobody right in his rear view. He's been able to control the pace, control the tempo. He's kept the car, well, I would say he's kept the car clean, but there's all kinds of damage around this 9. Although, never mind, that is actually just the graphic for that black coffee paint scheme. So no, this Camaro is spotless. I would say, I don't know why I thought otherwise. He really hasn't been in traffic much in order to really foul up this Camaro.
Yeah, I think Bill's Legend sitting in second. He's just now going into turn number 1. That's a pretty substantial gap that they put on the field here. It's an incredible job by the 9, and I know nobody wants to see fuel mileage. Fuel mileage really isn't something that we like to see. I know somebody in the chat last night wasn't too happy that fuel mileage ended the race the way that it did. Bolin isn't a big fan of it. But it's a part of NASCAR. It's a part of what we do, and you have to be good in all 3 phases of it. You have to be good on pit road, you have to be good on the track, and you have to be good at fuel. And the guy who can save the tires and fuel the best is going to win the race. And Q-Dog has led laps. He's been up front, and then he just decided, well, I'm going to go off strategy. And, this race is going to go green. And it has. It has went green, and he's doing what he has to do.
Yeah, I believe this is going to be... Nope, that was actually the last lap right there. So the 5 of Little Tank and the 22 of Yotes back behind this 9 as soon as the 8 of Combat Beast decides to finish up his entire lap. So yeah, that goes to show the kind of lead that the 9 had. I'll be able to see exactly who the top 3 were. And it looks like it's going to be Q-Dog, Bill's Legend, and the 98 of Master Killer. So it's going to be a J-Pa Militia sweep. 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations to all those drivers. Behind them is going to be Commando Griff, another. Twizzle, Baritone Boss, Combat Beast in 7th. And that is actually the extent of the cars on the lead lap. The 22 that we just saw behind the 9 there, he's going to finish in P8. Lil Tank also right there in P9. And then King Mathers back there in P10, also 1 lap down. So even though he was saving a whole lot of fuel, he still managed to keep pace and lap some people as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and back out of this. While everybody takes their cool down lap, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with your post-race interviews. Please, everybody, keep it right here. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We're not done just yet. Be right back. All right, guys, thanks once again for hanging out. Here we are with our top 3 for the NNR Xfinity race from Kansas. Race complete. All 200 laps are in the books. We're going to start off with our third place driver, 98 Master Killer. Been up there quite a bit. Okay, why don't you go ahead and pick up that driver?
All right, I got Master Killer 737 here with me, Pete. Hey, Master, heck of a run tonight, man. Was there anything that you would have done different from the start of the race that maybe would have influenced you being P1?
I don't think there would have been anything. The caution in the stages fell at particular times, or it was just all trying to get the strategy right and the calls right. I don't think I had anything for Q. Q was on a magic run. I give him credit for just having Beast last night. It's just a great race. I had a few things, and I was just worried that in performance wasn't going to show, but I was able to hold on and get us J-Paul Militia top 3 finish.
Yes, sir. Y'all swept the top 3, and I know watching the stream and just calling the race, I was kind of looking at Q and saying, why is he running the middle? Because, the High Line is the quick way around Kansas. When you saw him running that middle line, did you try to change your strategy at all?
No. I was going to stick with the same strategy and just see where it all fell. I was just hoping it was going to be a close connection. But I don't think any of us had anything for Q. It was just everything clicked, and it was the right night for him.
All right, man. Well, heck of a top 3 run. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, my whole J Militia team getting the win last night. Us sweeping the top 4 spots tonight, getting that 6 with Baritone. I like to shout out the whole J-Paul Militia group from everyone. It sucks we couldn't have Cole finish off, but it would have been nice to have him up there. It was just everything needed to be put together, and I finally got everything together to finally get me a podium.
Yes, sir. And like I said, man, heck of a run tonight. How big was that teamwork tonight? Just, you guys working on this Kansas setup.
Just the feedback was pretty good among us. Just keeping our cars up to date with the track. I keep on hearing people say that the track doesn't change over time. I kept on adjusting because I just felt like the car was getting looser and looser over time. And just keeping up with the track was a big goal. And having a consistent run is everything. And I want to give you guys a shout out too for streaming this, and this is just a pretty awesome community.
All right, well, back to you.
Definitely appreciate it. Absolutely. Now we got the one and only Tennessee Vols. He's going to pick up P number 2, old Bill's legend in that Trump train.
Yeah, Bill's number 2 sponsor in the election and number 2 tonight. Were you screaming at all in the beginning of stage number 3 that hell, hopefully the servers crashed and you was gonna get you a win out there? You had a pretty dominant car there after the end of stage number 2. We watched you drive through the field, take the lead. The 90 tried to make a slide job on you. What was going through your mind there? Did you think y'all were gonna stack them up?
So, just shout out to Q real quick. I just gotta get that, and shout out to his shifter. That's what won him the race. Anyways, no, I was pretty confident in the setup that I was given by Baritone. I made my own adjustments to it, and then they had their own feedback of being too loose. So I took the liberty of making my car tighter, and I gave them what I had figured out. But I was honestly really hoping either Q would lag out or Q would somehow pit wrong, something wrong. He was probably the only car that was going to beat me, and I was off a strategy. But I felt like I had a really good car. Definitely solid through the entire run. But yeah, when I seen that 90 just go full send, I was like, man, this is Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson 2008 Kansas all over again. I let off the gas and just hooked that wheel all the way to the left.
Yeah, how
how was the cars in dirty air? We kind of saw a couple people as they were trying to make the battles up there. We saw Combat. He was able to go down to the bottom and pull a slide job off. What was your car like as you were in the 3 and 4 wide battles at some points? How did you manage to get to the lead and consistently keep your car up there, even though you had a little bit of damage on it?
For me personally, my car was not made for the bottom or the low line. I had to pick my spots of running the high line. So if I seen them flip up and just get that little looseness and lose that little bit of speed, I made sure I could get to their outside and just stay up there. That car was painting like Darlington around Kansas Highline on that one. I can't believe that was just so fantastic and well stable. I just wish that, my teammate didn't have a better strategy than I did.
Well, hell yeah, top 4 for the J-Pod Militia. What a way to get 2 in a row. The Beast won last night, and another J-Pod Militia guy wins tonight. But congratulations on P number 2. Back to you, Pete.
Definitely appreciate it. Now we're going to pick up the man of the hour, the guy that has been so close week after week. Sent out a tweet earlier this morning that was liked, followed, and carried on by both myself and the No Name Racing handle, old number 9, Q-Dog. Q, I tell you what, I'm looking at the overall points. I know there's some information that's missing, but buddies, you got numbers in all the columns that you need and zeros in the columns that you don't want. You got 117 points total, 74 stage points, 0 in penalty. That's perfect. You got 9 starts, everything you should have. You got a pole, so you got a number in that column. 0 wins until tonight. Congratulations there. 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s, hence the reason that we've talked post-race so often. You've got the lowest average finish, 5.74. You got 0 in a DNF, again, a number where you don't want anything. You've got 0 missed races. You got a stage point, again, so you got a positive number in that column. You got playoff points, and you got the biggest 0 of all, 0 points behind any other driver. You've been the most consistent since we took the original green flag, or the first green flag, at Michigan several races ago. I was a little worried about you dropping back and losing too much time until I saw you do it right at the start of stage 3 when you let Master Killer go on the high side and you drop back to about 9th or 10th spot. And then the doubt started to set in. Are you giving up too much time? When did you know that you were going to have the strategy to beat and you were going to be able to walk away with this win?
Honestly, I figured it out with practice last night, running with a couple of my J-Pop Militia members, and figured that can cut out a stop and just hit my numbers all night, and it just worked out, man. I'm super pumped.
You ought to be. I mean, you've been very consistent all season. Just going through all those points. This year, unlike seasons past, it's not a win and you're in. You've heard me say that before. You've been consistent. You're at the top. If you keep this up, I don't see any reason why you can't be a favorite when it comes to the end and you're trying to knock out a championship. If you had to pick 1 or 2 guys in the field as being your main competition that you might have to fight when we get to May, who do you think that might be?
Well, and I may sound biased, but these J-Pop Militia guys, they all could have got a win tonight. I mean, it's just what it is what it is pretty much. All these guys are capable of winning. Mathers has come on strong. I mean, he's been, ever since he's come into the Xfinity series, you see him, he's up front every week. There's everybody in this field, man. I mean, I'm not trying to, give you a short answer here, but man, everybody can win. It's super competitive. I went through last year and had a lot of fun, and I took my whoopings from Boehner and Asbill, and it's just crazy how things have come full circle.
Somebody said either yesterday during the truck race or maybe it was earlier today when I was talking to a couple people, you make it into NNR, you race against some of the best, it's going to eventually make you a better driver as well. So talking to Boehner, I know that he was out there in chat. None of us have heard boo from Asbel for quite some time since he escaped over to the iRacing realm. But I gotta agree with that. You know, you race against the best, it's gonna make you better as well. And man, yeah, you took your lumps, you took your bumps. And here you are, man. Very, very consistent season so far. First win of the season. I know I'm absolutely very happy for you. Looking to see what else the rest of this season's gonna come your way. But I know it's not gonna be without the practice that you no doubtedly put into it. Any shout outs for you? I know you got all, you might as well blanket hashtag JPOD Militia, but any shout outs for you, sir?
Yeah, shout out to JPOD Militia. Man, shout out to JPOD. I wouldn't be racing in this league without him. He's the one that brought me over. He's kept, all our JPOD Militia guys, we've been together for a long time in NAOR, man, and it's cool to see us all migrate here. And we're running with Stout and Dan on when we're running with those leagues as well. It's just JPaw's brought together a bunch of guys, man, and it's more than just a game for us. We have a fun time together. And, huge shout out to Cole, man. Cole's become one of my best friends on here, and he made it to stage 1. He wasn't feeling good today, so just shout out to him. Hopefully he's feeling better. And I'm just pumped, Pete, man. It's come a long way for this, man. I'm just so pumped.
All right, man, you deserve to be in every sense of the word. Congratulations, sincerely heartfelt. I tell you what, TGM Beast, he got his first win in the NNR trucks last night. You're getting your first win here in the NNR Xfinity series tonight. Could we see that double deuce for his first win in the Cup series tomorrow night to complete the JPOD Militia sweep? We'll have to see, but congratulations one more time, Q-Dog. Very, very, very deserved.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Vols, buddy, it's been one hell of a night. Any final words about what we just witnessed here?
Man, we saw strategy play perfect. Strategy came down to the end. We kind of figured that that's how it was going to go if it stayed green. Q-Dog did exactly what he had to do to take the next level, and good for him. He did what he had to do, and I can't wait to see the rest of the season on what he can do with this points lead.
It's gonna be interesting for sure. Another thing that's gonna be absolutely interesting is 8:30 tomorrow night Eastern. It's gonna be the NNR Cup Series right here from Kansas Motor Speedway, the same as you've seen the truck in Xfinity. I'm betting on a first-time winner. Stout Whiskey out there in chat saying JPA winning, period, tomorrow, period, bet. So JPA or Stout Whiskey saying JPA's already got it in the bag. We'll have to see. He's definitely got some pretty strong competition to go up against. But yeah, I'll catch y'all tomorrow night right around again 8:30 Eastern. It's going to be one hell of a time. I should have both Word Burton and Rick James in the booth to call that. Don't want to miss it. Until then, please, again, stay away from the big crowds. Wear your mask. Stay healthy. We want to get back to the track. See y'all tomorrow night.